Good night, everybody. I really feel among friends, first of all, because Matteo Fazzi is here. Thank you so much for your words of introduction, for highlighting so beautifully Europe and Sicily. Then I see here the president of the Association of Italians in Norway, Chairman Trivellino, whom I thank for being here, and the chairman of the Dante Alighieri chapter of Oslo, Scapin, whom I equally thank, and many friends. Among whom also the three speakers of tonight. I would mention first MeteoMet, then Andrea Merlone, together with Chiara Musacchio, two Italian scientists who are here in Oslo on their way to Svalbard, where they are coordinating an international project on metrology, supported also by the European Union. I find this a fascinating example of the reach out to the European Union, acting in the European continent, in Norway, which is a part of the European Economic Area, but even in Svalbard, who are Norwegian islands, but outside the European Economic Area.
We are here in Oslo on our way to the Svalbard, where we're going to prepare a new project. But each time we come here, it's really a pleasure to be hosted by our ambassador, with whom we are really having great support on a number of activities and scientific interest. Actually, science is really difficult to deliver to a wide audience, and this is why I'm really glad of this invitation to have the opportunity to move into another subject, which is the well, it's very linked to what we just heard, but the subject is science and it's monitoring climate. While we go to the Svalbard, Arctic is a key place to make measurements and detect the trend in our global environment and our global climate. The Arctic amplifies each factor that we see on at planetary level. Just to tell you an example, we are concerned about a temperature trend of about 0.8 degrees Celsius in 100 years, but in Ålesund we measured 1.3 degrees in 20 years. So that's the problem. And there we need very, let's say, accurate measurements. So this is why metrology, the science of measurements, when I got my PhD in metrology, my mother said, well, now you will be able to make better weather forecasts. No, we have enough to do with the weather. We are those who take care about kilogram, meter. And by the way, I'm really glad reading and listening that among the pillars of the basic idea of Europe was common sharing of the standards, because this has been achieved. Europe now has common standards. We have a common recognizement of the certification. This is the fundamental of the trade also, because without common agreement, try to think about centuries ago, you had to pay taxes just to transfer and translate the quantities from one nation to the other. The international system of units and the euro made a great effort. And now you can go and you're happy to buy a kilogram of pepperoni in Berlin and in Lisbon, everywhere you go, it's a kilogram. Who stands behind this is metrology. But we don't only care about the direct measurement of quantities, we also now care about the quality of the measurement for the environment. And this is why we're here. And we are here to represent a European common effort coordinated by Italy. The Italian Institute of Metrology is in Turin. We come from Turin, where, by the way, is the headquarters of the Juventus. So we're all absolutely in line with this evening. And we come from Turin. Why from Turin we had to go to Ålesund, to the Svalbard? Because we've got to promote, you may know that in Ålesund there is a research station where 11 nations are now working to make really a number. There are about 1,000 and something projects running in the Oslo. It's a huge amount of investigation, it's a huge amount of research. It's an interdisciplinary research that ranges from biology to geology, of course, to climatology and meteorology and physical properties of the ice, of the soil, with all the concerns that we have in a climate that is changing. Despite someone says that the climate change is an invention of the Chinese to make the United States economy worse. I don't know if you heard about this declaration of the new United States president. He said that climate change was invented by the Chinese. Despite this, what we see in the Arctic is something serious, and it's really something concerning that requires this high quality of measurement. Now, this project, which is coordinated by Italy, but it's a European project, funded by under, let's say, a European coordinated action that really tries to go further with the input towards, let's say, a global analysis of what is going on. This project, that is called, by the way, MeteoMet, by putting together metrology and meteorology, is coordinated by us and is trying to bring some funds, some budget for this common idea of having all the people, all the researchers, making for them a valuable service in order that all the measurements now are comparable. You may think it is obvious, but it isn't. You have to think that each research group goes there with their instrument, with their capabilities, with their different procedure. Now we're trying to put everything together under a common setting, because science was the first to understand that the common approach is a win-win situation, where each one, there is no competition there, we just need to make better measurements. With Giorgio Novello, we've been able to promote this in the last 2 or 3 years, since 2014 when we started. And now we're going to really implement, and from tomorrow we'll be there to open a new laboratory to benefit the research and the climate research in the Arctic. So thanks again to Giorgio.